my colors for my campaign are black and white, because too many communists and socialists are using red, white, and blue anymore, and you don't recognize which are which. So to me it seemed that if I'm going to say what I believe and what I stand behind and my understanding of my job, it's black and white. I'm not gray. Everything has a truth, whether it be self-evident truth or truth that exposes itself in time. My signs will be all over Josephine County with your help. I have my statement will be in the voters pamphlet. That's black and white. And my literature will be available. And I want you to understand that I have the war chest of the Republican Party, the war chest of the Democratic Party, both being utilized against me because my opponent has been nominated by both parties. And I never thought I would see that time where parties were so blatantly happy with each other that they could pick somebody they could be united with. So I've had people tell me, well, you're never going to win, our guy's going to win. And that goes back to the sports mentality. It goes back to how you've been tricked into my team versus that team. You have the R team in the World Series. You have the D team in the World Series, and they're going to battle each other. And the R's are going to win, or the D's are going to win. Whatever election year, one is going to win or the other. But every time they win, you lose, because you never change the counterfeit players of that team, of that group. You don't change them. You don't recognize them as counterfeit. You don't recognize them as anti-American or processed out of being Americans or representative government. You don't recognize any of that. So you've been tricked and trapped into all this sports mentality, and you get around and you watch election night and you're rooting for your guy, and you're going head on head and don't let that guy win and my guy's won. But every single year of an election, the country has lost for at least 70, 80 years, maybe longer than that. We've lost because you lost sight of principles. You lost sight of the good men that it takes to run a good government. Our republic was lost and is being totally annihilated because good men are not at the helm anymore. A government is only, the government they gave us, our founding fathers knew that it would take moral, ethical people to sustain the righteousness and the decency in that government. The freedom, the very essence of freedom, would only be sustained if we had good men running it. Well, the corruption is so entrenched and so long that we need to start seeing how to get a scum skimmer or a better filter for the scum that rises to the top. And how many times have you said, what's he do that for? That's not what he said he was going to do. Oh, why is he doing that? Oh, why are they, hey, he's helping so-and-so. And I don't want that. I mean, how many times have you complained, but you go back to the same every election year? You fall into all the hype on television, all the ads and all that. If Merkley and Gordon Smith, all the accusations they gave each other, neither one of them denied one. If either one of those had only one of those accounts as true, then they were unfit for office. They weren't fit to hold that representative seat to protect your rights, to serve you. But you see, a counterfeit government, as long as we've had it, we now start becoming part of their plan on support. Our tax dollars are being siphoned, and our ignorance is being exploited big time. So my House District 3 state rep, it's run on the campaign that says, I am change for the better, because I know where we were taken from, and I know what it takes to get back there. And, you know, the Constitution is not ever changing. Only when corruption took over, unratified amendments were put on the books that gave you income tax without representation, gave you nobility in state offices as lawyers and judges, all of them getting into office, holding title, instead of just being of the people, by the people, serving the people. You've lost sight for so long your identity of who you should be and who you can be. We need to get back to individuality. Collective indoctrination processors, state schools all across the United States, every single year, they empty millions of pre-socialist and pre-communist into the society with total global dependency upon authoritarian government. You see, they had to make this country happy to be taken over. They had to make us want to be taken over. And we were done within. And there are, you see them every day. You see these. How do you think the environmental move, it's so powerful, not even a government entity, but created in the ideology that they can become the right arm and left arm of the government to take us into slavery? That's because there's very little education going on out there. I will not blanket every single school out there, Hillsdale. There's so many different schools fighting this corrupt system. But you need to see that the war chest of the Republican Party and all those that support it, and the war chest of the Democratic Party and all of those that support it, want my opponent, Wally Hicks. And they've all decided that he should be your representative. I think someone that's 33 years of age has not had enough life experience outside of these centers, these factories of processing. He's a lawyer, so that was more understanding of words. But you know, I will say that Noah Webster united us with the English language as he created it, and lawyers have divided us with the language that they created to destroy us. So recognize he's a nice guy, he's a great guy, but he's not the right guy. And I have no ill wills against my opponent. I just have lived long enough to know that there was a time in my life that when I applied for a job at 17, it was trial basis, and if I could do the job, I didn't have to bring in a certificate from my high school saying that I could think and I could function. I could actually go from job to job, and those actually counted as experience and led the way at the foundation. That's been so stripped by our indoctrination processes, our colleges and universities. You know, we have millions and millions of young people and people that don't have jobs anymore that are going back to college and back to universities, paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to them for jobs that won't exist when they're done paying all this money to these entities, these places. So we are being tricked. There is no job out there waiting for us if we don't start fighting to get rid of government control and start putting private sector as a top. Thank you. And my position for House District 3 State Representative is Ron Mauer's vacated position, and I hope that you will help and support whenever you can. Thank you, and I hope to see you again, maybe in person someday.